Hi, you again with Volleyball Explained Podcast, and this is going to be actually the last podcast for this season with our comments about the club teams. Ronnie is here in order to comment two very important events. The first one, the LUBE's title, third in a row for the team in Italy, and of course the second title in a row for ZAKSA in the Champions League. But let's start, of course, with our most traditional topic, the Italian Serie A, and LUBE beating Perugia 3-1. Ronnie, has that surprised you?
Of course. I think that before this this final series, nobody expect that a team so injury like LUBE Civitanova, they were capable to do at least to win a game even. No, so it was a surprise when at the first game they beat Perugia. And people started to speculate, it's only a game, but they win the second one. And these were this was big, at that moment. But as a person that knows about this sport, that sooner or later, the Leon factor can be a decisive one in the series. Leon wasn't playing good during the playoff, especially after that lose against Trentino and Champions League. But I had my doubts whether or not LUBE could win in 3 games, and they didn't. They lose a game. Well, when they lose that game, I saw something. I told to myself, well, that's it. Perugia will turn around things, and they will win in 5. But again, the figure of Robert Simon was so important during the series for Civitanova. And I think that he ended with more points than attacks attempts. This is especially if you can do more blocks and more aces than attack attempts. Of course, with the kills you do. Was something special to watch. And yeah, at the end they won it, and Simon MVP, of course. And for me, it was a disappointing final series, not because LUBE won it in 4, but because the low performance of the Perugia team that invested so much in this season, bringing Janelli and keeping, bringing two Kamil Lishki and Anderson. And, when Leon is most needed, they didn't deliver. So at the end, Leon can carry alone. He needs help. He is human. And, well, that's it. LUBE Civitanova wins his 7th championship.
In my opinion, probably there are 3 main reasons for LUBE to win this. The first one is they were playing as a team. I mean, they were interchangeable. They were just not a bunch of individuals like Perugia seemed to be. They're great players. Of course, Leon, of course, Riklički, of course, Anderson and Janelli and the middle blockers and Colaci. But they are not that organized. They look as a very great players that are just in the court for I don't know how many minutes, but this is something that follows the next point I would like to make. LUBE had a bench, and like players like Garcia, a rookie in the Italian Championship, who was a great substitute, and even in most of the time he was better than Zaitsev, but still Zaitsev started playing because after the injury, the whole season that was very problematic for him. But together, one or the other were efficient enough in order for LUBE to have a very good, if not great, opposite. Roberlandi Simone is out of any conversation because he was a monster, not only in the final but also in the semi-final against Trento. We've seen some kind of a resurrection for Kovar, because for several seasons Kovar was just the player who only receives, and that wasn't the case in the final. Kovar was also included in the attack phase of LUBE, so that was also very important. And even the injured Juan Torrena helped a lot in the last game. So that was very big difference between both teams, because Perugia had what they had. They had Terhorst playing as a second opposite when the game of Rechlechki was not in the right direction, and they had Plotnitsky playing only and entering the games only in serving. So that's problematic, and I believe that's maybe the most important reason for LUBE to win, because they have somebody to help when the team is not playing good enough. And the third point is that, in my opinion, and this is also linked to the first one of playing as a team in terms of Perugia, is that Perugia is relying too much on Leon in the most important moments, in the tough moments when it's more important to score a point than in the beginning of the sets. And in this regard, Anderson is not Matt Anderson with what we knew from years before, especially in the team of Zenit Kazan, where he was great, and not now.
He's 35, so he's the same age of Simon, but he's
Matej's 38, almost.
38.
Matej Kaziz came in, for example, just to make a comparison.
Well, people say that Matej didn't spend the last, 10 years of the national team, so that helping.
It could be, yes.
To recover more in the summers, and know to expose himself to the physical pain and stuff, But Anderson best days, like you mentioned before, are over, So he is now. The rumor is that he will go to China.
He was there, I believe, last season in Shanghai.
He tried, but with all the pandemic stuff, he couldn't play there. So he Anderson comes from a season when he didn't play at all. So he spent the time that he got with his family. And well, he took this offer because first of all he needed the money, and he is a elite volleyball player. But to play a game with Leon and we try to win something, but he underperformed almost the entire season. I believe that he isn't comfortable anymore at the position 4. He plays more now that with like opposite in the national team, of course, and well, underperformed very badly. And well, we all know the problems that Kamil Rilishki have. He was the same player almost at LUBE Civitanova when he played with Simon and the Leal and stuff. He always was the third wheel, if you want to put it that way, behind of Simon and Leal, and occasionally, sorry, Juan Torena. So yeah, I mean, I didn't like that LUBE bring someone injury like Saisev at the beginning, because you spend so much money for a player that will not play again because he's injured, and so he was injured and have to took a surgery. But it is what it is. At the end, I think that everyone, like Heinen said in one article, everyone expects that Leon at the end of the day carry you to the victory. And this is something that in any sports, you cannot rely just in one man or woman. That's why those teams are destined to fail, because you can carry alone. You always want to have one or two companions to help you to reach that goal. No, so yeah. At the end of the day, Simon multiplied by two or three, and he got help of Lucarelli and especially Marlon Jan, which was who was let's say not new, but he spends the entire season playing because of the Juan Torena injury. So he stepped up when almost nobody thought he could be a decisive factor. Sorry, and yeah, part of the credit of LUBE Civitanova success was because of Jan, of course, Lucarelli, of the experience that the Brazilian had. So yeah, I think like you mentioned, LUBE played more as a team, actually, more than Perugia, at least.
Yeah, and I believe that was something I missed, that Marlon Yant is playing better and better, and he's becoming the player everyone expects from him to be, I believe. And talking about that many Cubans, Simon and Yant and Juan Torena, of course, Juan Torena is playing in the last years a lot of years already for Italy. But can you explain, please, the events in the Cuban summer 2022? Because I saw the roster with Simon, with Mergarejo, with Herrera, with Lopez, with Yant, of course, with Concepcion and Vidal.
Yeah, for people that, well, I watched some Turkish page on Twitter putting that graphic that I create, because I have a lot of free time, and like our team will not go to VNL. I try to replicate the squad and that thing. Well, and the Turkish fans were like sad because for what the translator thing could tell me, they were saying, well, if the Cuban team, we can now say goodbye to our dreams to be at the VNL, because Turkey have a decent team in the recent years. They have been winning the Gold European League, which give you access to the Challenger Cup, of course. But yeah, when they saw Simon and Yant and Lopez and one or two guys like Sanchez who play in Arcas, Izmir, and have a lot of experience. You know, because right now Turkey, I saw their game versus Slovakia today. They are just at this Laguncia, and that's it. They don't have. I mean, Laguncia brother is also a real talent, but I think the coach doesn't want to give them the confidence to be a starter. So and you have the other player whose name is Efe Mandirachi, something like that, and he got injury in the Achilles tendon very badly. And well, you know, those teams that nobody cares about, I know more because I in the low part of the food chain, but for now, you know. But yeah, some competitions that Cuba will have, you know, the Challenger Cup, of course, which is a tournament of knockout system, which means you get there to Korea, you play quarterfinals, semifinals, and then the finals, and you cannot commit any mistake because you're out, and you have to wait another year to qualify for the next year. I mean, if Cuba doesn't qualify this year, they only can aspire to be at the 2024 BNL, and that's the last BNL before the Olympics, and they need ranking points to try to be at the Olympic Games. So for us, and try to be at the Olympics, this is the now or never, you know. So and this might be the last chance of Simo have to be at the Olympics, unless, of course, like by magic, we win the World Championship, which I think this is impossible. It's not impossible, but it's like 99.9%
Impossible.
possible. You know. So yeah, but let's see how the team goes. This by any means is a mediocre team. We have some talent there, some, let's say, famous players. Let's see, man. I mean, I've seen worse. So I see teams at the BNL that doesn't have even the same talent, you know. So I will not mention names, but you know, Germany, Australia, China, even Iran. Now that Maruf is gone, I don't know how they will perform at the BNL. So some teams that you have to keep in mind. Of course, Argentina, they will not have Soler, but they have Loser. But you know, Argentina is that kind of team that doesn't have the physical, you know, physical endurance to play good the entire tournament. So let's see what happened there. Yeah, for me, I think will be interesting just to watch this summer Cuba national team, and of course the other ones.
Okay, let's talk about the Champions League final, because surprisingly or not, for me, not that much, especially in the final. ZAKSA Kędzierzyn-Koźle won again the Champions League second year in a row, and actually that was a replication of the last year's final, because Trento was again the opponent, but this time Trento didn't win even a set. And my prediction was a win for ZAKSA, but I didn't expect a sweep. So what do you think?
Well, I guess I could say that the same. I mean, nobody expect a sweep in a game like that, but you know, it is what it is. I believe that Trentino end the league too soon. They have a very big gap between the end of the championship and the Champions League final. But I mean, only saying that is not enough to let's say put some excuse on their behalf. On so ZAKSA is the better team. They have, for me right now, the second best outside hitter in the world, which is Kamil Semenyuk. He often can be underrated because he doesn't have that participation or that importance at the national team. But the man knows how to play with what he got. And by me saying this is that he's not so tall. He's only 1 meter 94, but he make the most of his physical body and put it to work. I mean, he's a skillful player that doesn't only use the force, but he use actually his brain. He can pass, he can defend, he can block, he can serve. So you have like a resourceful volleyball player right there. And yeah, maybe this year they didn't have Tonuti, but we could, I mean, we saw the ascension or the arise, whatever you want to call it, of the Janus, which will be the next setter of the national team. Gerbig already called him and dismissed Fabian Drisga once and for all, I think. I remember when Heinen in a SEV podcast said that one of the best European setter, I don't know if all time or that at that moment, was Fabi Drisga. As I think to myself, well, this dude thinks that Drisga with his lucky world championship, why not? Because after that, Poland can win even the European championship. Is enough to say that he was one of the best, which is not. So, it is what it is, man. ZAKSA had it. Trentino is a team that doesn't have opposite. And again, like you have mentioned the entire season, you cannot only expect to attack for position 4. I mean, Matei has a limit, Micheletto also, and position 2 was only a decorative thing in that team. Spertoli never cared about setting La Via as much as he cares for Micheletto and Matei. So it was pretty straightforward, and I think like ZAKSA took advantage of it. So after many years, a Poland team not only won one Champions League, they won 2. So over teams like Perugia, over teams like Civitanova of of Simon and Juan Torena. So this is huge for Polish volleyball, who some people have started to think that they are actually the second best league of the world, and for some reasons, some of them are saying that is the best league of the world. I think the best league of the world, no, because they don't have the players, the foreign players, the best players. You of course you find the Polish player, the Polish star, but you don't have the Serbians, the Cubans, of course, the Italians. People, the Slovenians. People gather around Italy for some reason. I don't know if it's something about the weather or the country or the culture or the food, but Italy still remain the best league in the world. but I do believe that they are the second one right now. So with the war in Russia and everything, the Russian Super League have stepped down of that second position, even if they have the money of the oligarchs. It will be impossible to keep up with Poland and Italy.
Yeah, it's in my opinion, it's a little bit difficult, at least so far, to make this assessment which league is the second one, because in Poland they have two great teams in ZAKSA and Jarzębski, also another very good teams, but it's a little bit probably because we were deprived of the possibility to see Dynamo Moscow, for example, the new and actually new old champions of Russia in the Champions League quarterfinals. They should have played against ZAKSA in the quarterfinals, I believe. But I made a very interesting and I believe also useful podcast with Piotrek, our Polish guy from Volley Time, and we commented on ZAKSA, and I mentioned that ZAKSA is very well organized. They have great reception that allows them to be very diverse in attack, to play with the opposite, in position 4, with a great Kamil Semenyuk who will play in Perugia next season, with Slivka, who has a birthday just yesterday, I believe, on the 24th of May. And they are very well organized. They changed the setter, they changed the libero, they changed one of the middle blockers, but it seems that wasn't a problem. Even the change of the setter, they were deprived of Ben Tonuti, a great setter, probably one of the best in terms of setting the ball. But now Marcin Janusz shows that Poland doesn't need to suffer because of the fact that Gizgo is not
in theory.
And,
theory.
Gribic's his assessment about having setters in the team, which setters they need will be for sure much better than ours and anybody else's probably also. But that is the most important point, and the reception is a very essential point in this equation, because this allows Janusz to play very diversely, and this is probably also the biggest difference between the two teams. Reception and setting the ball. You mentioned the Trento problem with position 4, and Lavia most of the time is some kind of a decoy. They are going to set him in a tough situation. No, they won't. All of the balls will go to position 4, and this is simplifying the assignment of the Trento players a lot, and the assignment of the ZAKSA blockers a lot, actually. My mistake. So I didn't expect really a 3-set win, winning in 3 sets, but ZAKSA win is no surprise, and really probably Nicola is going to watch us after that when we publish the podcast, but I don't understand how it's possible for Lorenzetti to be 6 years in this team. I truly believe that the Trento has a bigger potential than this, especially when they get to win in the semifinal against the future champion and in the final of the Champions League. Yes, people will say they beat Perugia in the semifinal. They almost beat LUBE in the semifinal in Italy. They won the Super Cup, but with these players and this shape of theirs, I don't think this is enough. And I believe that Lorenzetti made too many conceptual errors in building the system of the team, which which probably in the beginning worked because of a surprise, because of probably I don't know what else, but I don't think this is something that can work in a series of tough and difficult matches.
Yeah, at the end, well, it is what it is. ZAKSA 2-time champions, and Trentino is still looking for the, I believe, 4th Champions League. And yeah, well, next year, hopefully, well, I don't know, because you know that Trentino isn't in the best financial situation, so they will keep it low as possible. The priority is to keep the 2 middle blockers, but I believe one of them have to go. I don't know what are the infos at the market, but yeah, they have a very good Italian youth system. For me, one of the best alongside Modena. But yeah, it takes more than Micheletto and maybe Labia and something to win titles. I mean, Matei did his best. He couldn't, so yeah. About the organization, of course, Ljubljana was an excellent host. They got it at the arena, and I believe it was a sold out event. So that will be the same arena that they will use at the World Championship. So yeah, I mean, to host the Slovenia matches at least. So yeah, of course, we will talk about the women final, which was straightforward to Vakifbank. It wasn't too tight as the previous encounters between these two teams. This time was more easy. I believe it was the fact that Egonu was completely alone, and this time was very, very clear. Even though she have a spectacular game, 39 points, 60% of kills percentage. On the other half, you had Hack and Gabi, who were too much for Egonu alone. So especially if on top of that you have the other players of Conegliano missing serve. I mean, the amount of errors that Conegliano did, even with Egonu performing well in attack, was too much to handle. So unless other years, I believe that now it's very clear that Median Silla is not the player that many people thought she was. In fact, I believe she will leave the team. Egonu, of course, was announced by the chairman of the Vakifbank as the new sign. I think that Hack didn't do anything wrong to be exchanged, at least, but people want stars, and I believe that Egonu is a bigger attraction than Isabel Hack, even though she is, like, for me, the second best opposite in the world right now. And that's it. MVP for Gabi, of course. Vakifbank had a perfect season, winning Super Cup, Turkish League, World Championship Club, and now the Champions League. So they have everything. The poker, I believe, right? So yeah, 5 from 5.
Yeah, a great performance by Vakifbank. I believe Hack is better, but this is something we can discuss probably in long. And I believe also that was quiet enough for today. We didn't discuss yet how we are going to talk about the VNL. Probably before the start of the VNL or after some games we can make something. But
we all know
Yeah.
that Nicola doesn't like VNL, but maybe with the change around that tournament, that obligates you to bring the best players you have in order to get points to qualify for the Olympic qualifying. So maybe he will change his mind about this tournament. But it's Nicola, so it's hard.
Greetings to Nicola if he watches after that. And thank you again for watching. Thank you again for listening.
Just to mention, there are been some friendlies prior to the VNL, like people know, before the VNLs, European teams, especially because the countries are too close, each to other, like to do friendlies. For example, Bulgaria beat the Ipsilon squad of Italy. I mean, and I'm kidding. They are a good squad, and they were playing in Italy. So congratulations, 3-2. This will not be the same in VNL, and let's see how far can Bulgaria go this time. I know you will do your analysis furthermore, but
21st of June in Sofia, VNL, one of the long weekends of VNL will be in Sofia. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope that you're going to do it also the next time. And that was all. Watch volleyball and enjoy VNL. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.